Why Did the Dish Run Away with the Spoon? By W.M. Cuppernell, Barking Dog Safari Books. Here's the story never told, about a nursery rhyme so old, going back 250 or so years, a story that turned a happy fork to tears. Sad to say, it left us wondering, and the silverware tray thundering. This is the story of Heartbreak that began long ago in a castle under the light of a full moon. The sad true story about why the dish ran away with the spoon. Sitting high in the castle of the royal court, beautiful and large like a resort, a married couple, a love affair, on a royal napkin full of flair. Close by sat a priceless Italian dish holding heaps of food, anything you wish, the fork and spoon, a couple happy for years, seeing no threat, until the dish spotted the spoon, creating a story nobody could forget.
Bellissimo, the dish did cry. Such a lovely spoon I cannot deny. Laying right next to that fork, how could such a beautiful spoon be with that dork?
By luck or an act of fate, the spoon came closer as it was getting late. Reaching the dish, beautiful with nothing to prove, that is when the dish decided to make his move.
Ah, grab more, my love, the dish said, as the spoon scooped up heaps of the buttery garlic noodles spread.
Oh my, the spoon did reply, thinking, is this handsome dish talking to me? She gave a dreamy sigh.
The spoon dived more deeply into the steamy food. The dish gave a flashy smile, improving her mood. The spoon was withdrawn so she could deliver her heap. To her surprise, she was then put and left in the dish so deep. Now the dish was free to deliver his lines. Smooth Italian Casanova, expensive, made so fine.
You are Bella, the dish said. Beautiful, I want to take you away. We belong together, I just want to say. Tomorrow night, when everyone is looking at the cow as it tries to jump over the moon, they will not notice until the next day that the dish ran away with the spoon.
The spoon was shocked, not used to getting such attention. She was blushing red, but she needed to mention,
I'm sorry, I'm married to the fork. We have been together way before the Duke of York.
The dish did not stop, not in the least, saying,
Why are you with him? He doesn't appreciate you, he's a beast. He left you alone on that napkin. He was too busy serving others. Come with me, love. Look at that fork. He's butter smothered.
The spoon looked over to the buttery fork, and then to the dashing dish, finer than a golden stork. But then memories flashed of happier times, of when the fork asked the spoon,
Scoop, will you be mine?
Shaking her spoon head to the fork, giving him a no, but when he gave a dreamy look, the spoon was ready to go. The dish promised her a future, traveling to the highest castles. No more alone on a napkin and culinary hassles. The plan was set after a good cleaning. The spoon went away beaming, arrogant, the dish congratulating himself. Soon the spoon would be another trophy on the shelf. The royal dishwashers then went to work with large heaps of dirty dishes and silverware with disgusted smirks. 3 hours it did take, the dish and plates, silverware clean now. No more dirty dishes caked. They all returned to looking their best. The fork did not know it was the end of the happiness. Now in the drawer in the silverware tray, the spoon was planning her getaway. The fork hopped over to give a goodnight kiss. The spoon turned away. The fork missed.
What's wrong, honey? The fork said. You know I'm squeaky clean. The spoon just ignored him. The fork hopped back to his spot, wondering why she was being mean. What did I do? The fork loudly said.
You left me alone on that napkin. You were too busy for me. Tonight stay with the forks. Just let me be.
The fork was in shock on how she reacted. Once picked up by a human, the fork could not be retracted. There was obviously something more at play, but no one could imagine the dish and the spoon would run away. That night the cat was to play the fiddle. Heaps of food-filled dishes and plates in the middle. They were gathered to laugh at the cow trying to jump over the moon. Even the dogs were brought to laugh at the sport. The dish was ready now to run away with the spoon. The fork still had no clue, just not sure what to do. He planned to win her over that night. Soon all were called outside. The cow was ready for her moon flight. Everyone rose, and outside they froze, for it was a sight to see, a huge milk cow getting ready. That's when the dish and spoon started to flee. On a napkin together, the fork looked over at his wife, but he did not see her. All he saw was the butter knife. He got up and hopped, looking down a long hall. He saw his beloved spoon with the dish. Didn't that beat all? He hopped fast after her as the crowd outside let out a huge cry. Everyone was shocked to see that cow jump into the sky. The fork couldn't care less about the moon. He wanted his true love, whose name was Scoop. He could not realize the fact that his utensil mate flew the coop. He knew a shortcut and stopped and blocked their path. That was when Spoon unleashed her wrath.
Scoop, where are you going? Who is this dish?
The dish looked at him smiling. The spoon replied,
This is my answered wish. I have now found my true love, a handsome plate. Now get out of here, stab. It's getting late.
The fork was speechless as the pair got away, and the cow did jump over the moon, they say, but the fork didn't see it. He never saw his sweet spoon was now with the dish. His happy life had taken a fall. For weeks and weeks he grew more depressed, for another spoon brought him no happiness. In group therapy he tried to understand. How could his scoop run off with an Italian porcelain man? He now was looking droopy for dinner parties, no longer selected. Even the butter knife was already affected.
Don't worry, stab. The knife said, calling the fork by his name. You still got me. Be proud. You're a fork. Compared to a dish, you got way more fame.
Stab tried to cheer up.
You know what, Cuddy? You're right.
But then he would go back to crying about Scoop that night. Weeks turned to months. Still, it did not get better. Then one day, he received a letter. It was from Scoop. He was hoping she wanted to come back, but it was divorce papers. The last act. Stab accepted it and signed it. He wanted Scoop to be happy. He was single now. He had to look snappy. He was now getting out, being the fork of choice. All the other female spoons swooned with his voice. He was now moving on, dating more. He was less hurt about Scoop, not like before. His four-spear face was happy and no longer did droop. When the doorbell rang, and to his surprise, it was Scoop. She was a dirty spoon. She flung herself at him and gave him a hug.
I'm back, honey.
Stab just shrugged.
Back? Stab said surprised. What happened to your handsome platter?
Scoop just lifted up her hands and said,
Oh, him? That dish fell off the table and just shattered. Then she said, Forget him, honey. Let's get back together. I will never leave you again, no matter how beautiful the Italian weather.
Stab said,
Hold on. You mean you're only back because your true love fell apart? And no glue can put him back together because they don't know where to start.
Scoop just nodded and said, Yes. The insurance policy goes to the owner, not the culinary wife. Forget him. I'm back now. I missed being with you, on a napkin with you, and the knife.
The fork looked at first happy, and then he got mad. He was surprised how he felt. He thought if she returned, he would be glad. He looked at this spoon, remembering how she left him dry, and how many nights he did cry. Slowly over time he learned to get back on track, and now this cheating spoon wanted to come back. She took his hand, telling him,
Come on, let's go to our tray.
The fork just looked at her and said,
No way. You don't get to leave me for some Italian dish and come back to our drawer anytime you wish.
She bent her head and gave him a seductive look. He waved it off. She clearly mistook. She fell to her knees and begged the fork to forgive and forget. Her plan was not working. She now had regret. The fork was now much closer toward the knife. When he got remarried, Cuddy became his wife. Scoop was so sorry about that night when the cow jumped over the moon. That is the heartbreaking story about the dish that ran away with the spoon, the end.